Welcome to the future. The year is 2007. Nuclear war has nearly destroyed our planet. Now, an evil presence seeks to enslave what's left of humanity. And there's only one thing that can stop it.
Nobody threatens my planet.
Do you like 80s movies? Because I sure as hell fucking do, and I was hyped as shit after watching this teaser trailer back in the early summer of 2013. I must have watched this trailer like 20 or 30 times in the weeks before its launch. A standalone parody of 80s movies, games, and cartoons in the Far Cry 3 engine, full of comedy, self-awareness, and bad one-liners? You gotta remember, this was before Kung Fury came out, so I didn't know how bad I wanted this until it was announced. Developed by Ubisoft Montreal and released in 2013 for Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Microsoft Windows, it's also backwards compatible for Xbox One nowadays, but not on PS4. So did it live up to my hype? Well, grab your sunglasses and tight leather pants, because we're about to find out.
Firemen, policemen, janitors. Those are the real heroes.
He is Sergeant Rex. Power. Colt. He's here to save the world.
If the intro cinematic didn't make it abundantly clear, we'll go over the premise again. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon is set in the distant year of 2007. Vietnam War II ravaged the Earth and left it a nuclear wasteland. You play as Sergeant Rex Power Colt, a Mark IV cyber commando on a quest to stop the evil Colonel Sloan and his rogue Omega Force cyborg army from destroying what's left of planet Earth. Ubisoft's description of the game was an 80s VHS vision of the future, where the player must get the girl, kill the bad guys, and save the world. And that's actually pretty damn accurate. You go to Sloan's secret island base at the beginning with your comrade Spider, who is killed in the prologue by Sloan. Rex escapes, meets with a scientist defector of Sloan's, and vows revenge for Spider's death. Like they said, get the girl, kill the bad guys, and save the world. Doesn't get more simple than that. An 80s VHS vision of the future, huh? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Combat is an utter cacophony of laser beams in every color, explosions, and spent shell casings. Blood Dragon has very unique presentation, if you couldn't already tell from the gameplay footage. These horizontal VHS scan lines are omnipresent on the screen, and almost every environment is filled with some fog on the floor. The cutscenes are also highly stylized, and if you like the stylization, great, and if not, well, I guess there's not that many cutscenes, and you can skip them. Only issue is that sometimes it will cut from gameplay to a cutscene right at a moment you wish you could have seen in-game or actually played, which honestly bothered me more than I thought it would, but oh well. Overall, the game looks great, and is presented in such a unique way that it's hard to not love the visuals, even if some textures, like the grass and other foliage, look like hot trash. Blood Dragon's music is fucking awesome. Synthwave of the highest quality by Power Glove accompanies your entire journey, with a few songs from famous films popping up here and there, like Hold On to the Vision from 1986's No Retreat, No Surrender. The guns all sound great, a true symphony of bullets, laser beams, flashy reloads, and explosions.
I'm through the rampart.
Objective complete.
Good night, sweet prince.
I noticed a really nice touch this playthrough as well. You can actually hear Rex's cybernetic limbs actuating as you move around the game world. Rex is voiced by the great Michael Biehn, known for his roles in a few of my favorite movies, Terminator 1, Aliens, The Abyss, and Tombstone. I highly recommend all of these films, by the way, but back to the game. Bihn's voiceover is the stereotypical 80s action hero, low and gruff. and he really brings the script to life, as horrendously cheesy as it is.
Doc, I'm at the dam. God damn, it's big. I don't remember much before getting shot up. Playing as a kid, my parents, Vietnam War II. I just hope this new C-4000 is as good as the old C-400. I hope it's not.
No, Cyber Soldier.
Right. Then it's lights out for Sloan.
I'll override the control mechanisms and send that baby into overload.
Then it's lights out for Sloan.
You, said that one already.
The writing is so gloriously bad and self-aware, it's hard to not smile every time Rex opens his mouth.
No, Doc. No way. I swore an oath to a special lady.
Your wife?
No. Lady Liberty. She taught me that winners don't use drugs.
Even the tutorial was a parody of other video game tutorials.
Ah, for fuck's sake.
Jump if you wish to jump.
The other voice actors are alright, but Bean is absolutely the standout. A highlight of his performance is the way he screams in anger when sustaining fire with the minigun. The game runs well, unsurprisingly. On PC it holds a steady 60 FPS, and the load times are lightning fast. Although, to be honest, I almost preferred the 30 FPS I got on my Xbox 360. Kinda fits the aesthetic better. It's tiny as well, only 2.7 gigabytes, so space is not an issue. But price might be. I grabbed this one on sale for $5, but the original $15 might be a deal breaker for some for what it is. My one big gripe with this game is less about the game and more about Ubisoft as a developer and a publisher. Blood Dragon refused, I repeat, refused to launch until I uninstalled it from my E drive and reinstalled it to my C drive. This is the second time that's happened with a Ubisoft game. For Honor also would not launch on my C drive. It had to be installed on C. This is incredibly frustrating because reading the forums, it appears this issue is not unique to me, but nobody else really seems to be bothered by it. It's 2017. Let me install games on whatever drive I want. It's fucking stupid. Alright, enough railing on Ubisoft, because this is the most important section. If you've played Far Cry 3, you more or less know what to expect. You're turned loose on a large open world after a few introductory missions. There's Omega Force garrisons that need to be liberated, side missions that unlock new weapon attachments, and story missions to be completed at your own pace. There are, of course, some reused assets from Far Cry 3, but it's all unique enough to not be a problem. It's up to the player, for the most part, how to get shit done, and the game hints heavily that stealth is what it wants you to do, but it gives you more than enough tools to go all-out action hero if you want. When sneaking, the famous Far Cry detection wheel shows enemy awareness of your presence, and you can throw objects to make a little noise, distracting and repositioning enemies. You can silently take down foes with a knife kill, chain those kills together, or throw a shuriken at a second, more distant enemy after taking down the first, as well as a silent drop takedown and takedowns from water. Wait a second. A stealth action game that wants you to be sneaky, but actually gives the player stealth tools to get the job done instead of just implementing a half-assed cover system and shoehorning in terrible stealth missions that fail automatically upon detection? Awesome! Only issue is that the takedown system is a little inconsistent. You can always take down from stealth, but sometimes you can while you're in full combat mode, and sometimes you can't. This issue becomes incredibly frustrating in one certain mission near the end of the game. You'll know what I mean if you've played it. Like in Far Cry 3, the enemy humans aren't your only threat. There's passive and aggressive wildlife, and of course, the titular blood dragons. Huge monsters with terrible eyesight and a taste for cyborg flesh. They'll kill you and enemies alike pretty fast, but can be used to your advantage by luring them by throwing a cyber heart, pilfered from enemy corpses. The blood dragons have a lot of health. Maybe a bit too much health, actually. They're basically unkillable without a shitload of explosives, or a bunch of Terror 4000 ammo. But maybe that was the point. Overall, the game controls very well. The shooting doesn't always go exactly where you want due to some weird projectile speeds, but it's far from unplayable. The only real outright stealth weapon is the bow, which is honestly my favorite of the bunch. It's silent, neon blue, and totally badass, and it one-shots most enemies. RoboCop's pistol can get a silencer, but it's nowhere near as reliable for stealth missions. The other weapons consist of the Terminator 2 shotgun, the aforementioned Terror 4000 minigun, grenades, Molotovs, mines, and C4, or should I say C400, a laser beam machine gun, and the big-ass sniper from the end of the first RoboCop, all of which have hilarious reload and switching animations. The Cobra Con rifle was also a lot of fun once I unlocked the explosive rounds modification. Rex has great mobility, being a cyber commando and all. He takes no fall damage and can stay underwater indefinitely. You'll still go down in combat if you're not careful though. As you fight, you'll earn cyber points, which will automatically unlock perks for your character as you progress. They unlock at a fast enough rate to keep you wanting the next thing, but slow enough that things don't ever get too easy. With all this combined, it may sound perfect. It's just a goddamn shame that this game is really short. If you're rushing it or playing on the lowest difficulty setting, you could probably beat it in about 4 to 5 hours. Though a more leisurely or completionist playthrough with all the collectibles might get you from 7 to 10 hours of fun. Guess it's a good thing it's not a full $60, huh? In short, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon is a brilliant game that combines the best and worst stereotypes and tropes from the action genre, flips it all on its head, and drives away on a flaming motorcycle giving you the finger in the distance. Blood Dragon is 100% worth your time. But is it worth your money? Well, that's up to you to decide. Like I said earlier, I got this game on sale for about $5, and I call that a very worthwhile purchase without a doubt. But the full $15, personally I would say yes, but you'll have to decide that for yourself. Just like any game, I suppose. The quality of the content is definitely worth $15, but the amount of content is debatable. Regardless of how much you pay for it, every minute will be worth your time, and that's really the more valuable thing of the two, despite its relatively short length. Most importantly of all, Blood Dragon is fun. It's just fun, you know? It's one of those games I can only ever have fond memories of. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'd pay a full $60 for any game where you can do this. Fuck you. All things considered, I give Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon an 8.75 out of 10.